responsibilities can be delegated to volunteers in the park board, etc. So the Park and Rec Board actually wants to formally request that we get approval from you guys tonight, the Board of Supervisors, so that we can discuss and develop this list of tasks that we can, again, so we can discuss it with the new manager and actually get onto the delegation process. So would you mind voting on that?
Can I give a little update too? So I do have, following the workshop meeting, I got, last week I asked if there was anybody else that wanted to participate to help make phone calls. I got 5 other volunteers. So I've started working on the plan that Desiree sent me from last year, trying to organize it so that we can make divvy things up easier and kind of divide and conquer. So I'll ask the two of you if there's, I know Desiree, you had asked to meet with those volunteers. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to schedule time in the evenings that we just do a conference call? We could meet here, but try to go over and assign phone calls to people for vendors and
I think there's a little bit more than just phone calls that are involved.
Sure.
So I think that Aaron should be involved with it as well.
Yep.
Because there's things that he's going to have to make a call on as far as pricing and getting money out to people so that deposits and things like that. So I don't know if waiting till our next Park and Rec Board meeting is the best.
I don't think we should wait
I
that.
think we need to do something sooner so we can get the ball rolling here.
What would work for you? Because I don't mind scheduling it, but you're the expert. So if there's times that work, I could start an email with the folks willing to help out, and we can have a separate call or a meeting and try to figure that out.
Can we send you some dates for next week?
Yeah, it'd be great. Yep. And if you
For me, it would
prefer-
have to be next week. The following week, I'm away.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's sooner better, I think, right?
Yeah.
If the concern is getting calls made and things like that, getting people on the agenda, getting the calendar. So, okay, great. I will send an email out to the
Okay.
Parks and Rec Board along with the 5 other volunteers.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Sure. No, we'd like to help anywhere we can.
Business before the board, new business. We had a resignation from an auditor, Mr. Blair, submitted his resignation. So, I'd like to make a motion to accept Mr. Thomas Blair's resignation as an auditor.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Whole business. So we have an appointment that needs to be done for the UCC Board of Appeals. Did we get anything in for that by any chance? Okay. Okay. So we'll continue to wait for it.
Yeah, if anybody knows anybody that it's not a taxing job, it doesn't require a lot of time.
Very
Very little time, so we're just leaving that for
streaming public meetings.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't worry about my note.
Just let Aaron
Yeah, Aaron's got the update.
All right, for streaming public minutes, there was a bid request that went out. We received 2 bids. The first bid was $27,975.67 for streaming the meetings. The lowest bid was $6,170. However, that negated any computer equipment necessary to run the equipment. So I believe that bid is low. I was going to suggest to the board that we walk before we run. There are other municipalities that use Facebook Live as a means to stream this, because not only does it stream the meeting, it also saves it so people can view it at a later date as well. This is a practice that we did with that video at Doylestown. We would then sometimes created a YouTube channel where we would upload that as well. That way you don't have to worry about creating any accounts or anything like that. And then we link from that on the website. But that's something that I think we can do. We have 1 or 2 phones that aren't currently being used. So it would be something that we could set up on a tripod, and that would allow people who can't make the meeting to see it live, and those who can't make the live broadcast to be able to see it at a later date. And that's a zero cost option. which is one of the reasons I favor it.
Absolutely.
What is the quality of a video like that? If you were to put it in a room like this, if you're using a phone or an iPad to
So-
live stream?
It depends on the device you use. Most devices now are capable of doing 4K resolution, which is quite high resolution. In a room like this where you have very limited ambient noise, it's generally quite good at picking up all the discussion going on in the room as well. I've seen pretty good results with it using iPhones, relatively newer iPhones, and I'm sure the flagship Galaxies are the same way, as those, usually the phones are pretty comparable. When I upload it, I will usually do it in HD. I drop it down to 1080. Generally, I do that so it takes up less bandwidth. If you're, on a network or you have home Wi-Fi that has, download limits, that way you still get a pretty decent view, but you're not using a whole lot of data. Also, if you're using a mobile device, it makes it much easier for it to run, over the cellular networks as well. But we also have, doing that, we'd also be able, if someone wanted to come in and get, a CD with the file on it, they'd be able to do that as well.
So that would be Facebook and YouTube.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook is, Facebook, if you don't know, when you do a Facebook Live video, it's up there for 1 month, 30 days. After that 30 days, YouTube deletes it.
You mean Facebook deletes it?
I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
Facebook, I'm sorry. Facebook, when you do Facebook Live, it keeps it for 30 days. I move it over to YouTube because YouTube does not delete the videos. And then in that process, I also back it up locally.
Okay. Would that be something we could access from the township website?
Yes,
Be
we
it time.
are able to put hyperlinks embedded into our website so that if you were to go to like where meeting minutes and agendas are now, there would be, additional entry that would say, meeting date, video, and you'd be able to click on it, and it would take you over to YouTube. So you don't have to know where to look for it.
So what would that cost Township? Nothing? If you
Nothing.
did it?
Correct.
I got you.
We use what we have already,
Yeah, yep.
and we set up the accounts that are needed for it. The accounts are free, but YouTube does not charge, for doing that at all.
That was one of the reasons I suggested YouTube. Stuart, you're not paying for the server space and all that.
Yeah, I think the lowest estimate we've seen in here, once you put in the computer and the software needed to run it, you're probably right around $10,000 for what would essentially be the exact same video. Because that was a single camera looking from the back of the room to the front of the room, focusing on the podium and the dais.
So is that something then we could do for potentially the next meeting and try it? I mean, I always say, let's walk before we run anyway, and
Yeah.
see if that turns out to be sufficient and it doesn't cost us anything, then
That is something we can
That
try next
seems-
meeting for sure. We definitely try to
it seems like a
the work
reasonable
session.
solution, yeah.
And see, how well it works at the work session, and, if everything works well at the work session, we can move to the regular meetings.
I know when I was working with Triscari, we had, that's already set up for our website. I had them already get us ready to go.
It is. One thing I will mention is, this is usually an issue that will come up when you do use Facebook Live. We will have to come up with a policy for this, is how we handle the comments on that. Because when we do broadcasts on Facebook Live, we can keep the comments off or turn them on. Because we're a smaller municipality, we don't have necessarily the resources to have someone sitting on Facebook during the whole meeting and reading off comments. So my suggestion would be that our policy, at least initially, would be to turn comments off on Facebook, the live broadcast, but allow people to call in or send an email or write in with any, public comments or questions that they would like to ask during the meeting based on the agenda that gets posted.
That was something we discussed as well, in-person participation at home viewership
Correct.
to avoid.
But this allows, by having that, kind of that policy where people can write in or call in, if they have a concern or would like to voice something about an agenda item, they're still able to be held even heard, even if they do not make it to the meeting. That way we ensure that, every resident, regardless of ability, has the ability to, make a public comment.
Great.
We can start that next meeting. That'd be great.
So we make a motion to do that.
We made that motion, and we were gonna do it to one meeting, I think we were gonna do it with the laptop, so we just didn't have, we wanted to do it.
We don't have to make another motion.
Perk Crossing Water Sewer Project, did anything, I think we're waiting until September to find out about that grant, did any news pop up on that, Miss Vicky, or Aaron, do you know anything about that
I
yet?
have not seen any information about that. I've only been, just a couple of days. I did do a cursory look and I wasn't able to locate anything immediately. I'm continuing to look into that though.
Okay.
I did get to see the SSM project proposals and the three
Yeah.
different projects that they presented and their opinions, and I was able to read that.
Okay. Okay. The Township trash discussion, didn't move any forward that we've been busy with bringing you in, handling Miss Kate, getting her situated. I didn't move forward with that until we got you in place.
I do have some experience if you'd like me to.
Oh, absolutely.
To speak to that a little bit. So in Doylestown Township, we work with our trash service much like you, where each individual homeowner contracts directly with the provider. And I've also been at Collingdale where we provide municipal services. And then I've also done a comparison because at Collingdale, we did have the question of, well, if we have public and we move to, contracting that service out, how much does that cost? These are studies from urban areas, so you have a lot fewer roadways and are much more densely packed, which makes collection easier and quicker. So these are probably on the lower end of the estimates. For us, the comparable municipality was Swarthmore. Swarthmore paid approximately $750,000 a year for trash service without the dumping fees. Dumping fees were about another $250,000 for an all-in trash services yearly of $1 million. That becomes extremely expensive very quickly. To give you some perspective, that's approximately 75% of our yearly operating budget. So that option, I believe, would be a significant increase. It also removes the residents' ability to directly take action when they're not getting the service they want. It puts an intermediary in there that I don't think helps you at all.
Done.
Okay. Perfect. Open space discussion, again, we've been moving forward with everything else. Didn't get there, now I think we have the ability to move forward with that, with the applicants. I think we put requested applicants 2 months ago, a month ago, something like that.
Did we receive any?
So nobody had put in for it. There was a group of people that had waited to see if anybody else would want it because Mr. Frisco wanted it that way. So we waited, nobody moved forward with it. So I do have a group of 4 people I've worked with for the past year and a half on this project, actually since 21. And I will bring them in for the next meeting so we can start moving forward on that.
I just asked that they complete an application.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's what we were just
So that we
waiting
can
on.
review the
I
application.
don't want anybody to think I'm just acting something. Yeah, I mean, I give everybody a chance, just like the planning commission. It is what it is, first come community. But that is something, the open space, Mr. Wallreiser, that you have experience in as well.
Correct.
So that was another big thing that we'll be moving forward with as well. Schoolhouse
And when you
information.
say moving forward, it's just creating an open.
Creating this, well,
Creating-
the committee's already there, it's just
Right.
staff.
Staffing the committee is all we're talking about.
Yeah, and, yeah.
What's the tax that's listed on here?
We didn't even discuss it yet. That was something Mr. Frisco wanted to put on here, but no taxes were ever discussed, and we just appeased him to put it on there,
It was a compromise on the agenda.
just to move forward and get the agenda out. Schoolhouse information on the website. I believe, again, we were waiting, I don't think, with the new website being updated, I'm not sure Miss Kate ever got to putting those documents on there. I know we've all sat here and discussed putting the documents on there. I know Mr. Jones, you had gotten the documents, I had spoken to you directly and just put them out there. Kate was gonna put them on the website, but I'm not sure they ever made it there.
Mr. Landon, You did give me access to make edits to the website yesterday. I can start, increasing the amount of information that we have on our website. It might take me a few weeks to fill in the empty pages. I know we do have quite a few empty pages on the website where it says information coming. And that is something that I will be able to help work on.
Okay, perfect. So that'll become moving forward, relatively soon, that'll be out there as well. Development information on the website as far as the 3 developments go. Planning Commission isn't here, but I don't believe there is any update yet. We were doing a well study and a water infiltration test. Did we ever hear anything back about that, Norm?
I have not heard boo, not an email, nothing,
Okay.
for a long time.
So I did get one report on Big Road here from a young lady who told me that she noticed her water pressure's down. I don't even know is that a well study back here on Heimbach? Are they doing that well study back there?
That is where some of the well studies were done, yeah.
She thinks she had a pressure drop there.
To my knowledge, nothing has happened there for like a month, so I don't know that there would be an effect now.
No idea. I literally just heard that today. I couldn't tell you. People ask, I just say, I'll find out.
Right.
Brake retarder ordinance and signage. The ordinance, I think we passed the ordinance, Steve and I talked. Is it less than a city block? Is that what we were talking?
Yeah, it starts right here at Knifer and ends on Perk and Linville Road.
So we have,
What are the next steps?
We did you filled out your paperwork and sent it in, PennDOT to give their study. They came out, they marked the area of where the trouble was. It was just a resident complaint of the engine retarder going off, and that was done from that point from Knifer, Perk and Linville Road.
right. We have zero way to enforce it.
You have 0 way on it.
Is there signage?
We have signage.
So we
We are waiting, is the ordinance signed and done, and
I don't know that.
I don't believe it is.
I'm not sure it was either. I believe after we did this, the manager had resigned, and then all this
Yeah.
rolled
The
downhill
only
here.
thing is,
So we'll get back to that with you, Steve. If that's what it needs to happen, have it signed, I'm sure we can get that signed for you.
instead of it just being at the point of Knifer and Annandale, should be at the border of Upper Frederick and Upper Frederick.
Yes.
Right, but it was only voted upon for that one block area. So, yeah.
Can we extend it?
Was it advertised? Was it voted on at a public meeting?
We did discuss it in the public meeting. I'm not sure if it was advertised or anything like that. I do know a lot of us had said one block isn't really gonna cover anything. And without having police here or any way to enforce it,
Right.
it kind of just fell over on its face here. And then nobody had brought it up till right now, so I'm not sure how it got brought back up.
I put it on there.
I know, but
I don't know how it got back
I
up.
went back through, we had agreed at a previous meeting that we would keep all old items, old business on the agendas until we confirmed that they're completed so that items did not fall off. So I went back through the minutes and put them on to make sure that we have completed our task and that they're just not falling off and not being brought up again. Because we had heard that as a complaint from the township that people had brought things up and then they never heard about certain items again. So I just want to make sure that we are keeping things on the agenda until we all agree that they should come off.
So this is something we could revisit, right, Ms. Vicky? See what we can do about it. Either stretch it the length of the township there, or revisit it and see if it's even worth having one. We're talking one street, but nobody took it. Yes, sir.
I know there's 3.
Can you step up?
Yeah, sure.
Announce your name and please, thank you.
My name's Paul Chrisman, I live on Big Road, that's why I'm bringing that up. I know there's 3 people in here that live on Big Road, and that is annoying. Especially when you live next to a guy that has 2 dump trucks. And he comes home every afternoon and leaves at 5:15 every morning. So I would like that, to extend it rather that way, let's go this way too.
Wait,
Thank you.
so if you're saying are you legally allowed to put them at the beginning of the township, even though the state only surveyed a block?
You can, we can send a letter back, and I can talk to Don and we can go ahead and have that taken the way it should.
Who's Don?
I can't pronounce his last name, he's from Penn.
That's
Sorry,
what, Don from Penn. That's really what I wanted to know.
And I'll check the solicitor files and see if there's anything in there for that ordinance. I don't remember seeing anything, but I'll check.
And then I would have the board also recognize that a few complaints have come in on Knifey Road to do a study for the truck traffic that's on there. Resident had notified me, and another resident had notified me about possibly doing a study.
Did we do a study there in the past? I thought we did.
That was probably 9-10 years ago, I think it might have been. Because I remember an individual, Bernie, came in and said something about it.
Okay.
Whether
Yeah,
to get anything out of it, at least we're doing something.
absolutely.
So Steve, you said you actually received a request from someone on Mayfair Road?
Yes, yes. He was in the parking lot. In my car.
Okay. Schoolhouse renovation. Did you hear anything else about this, Ms. Lisa? Something changed here? Where we had left that was right for referendum. Didn't hear back from that point moving forward. We were gonna put it to the community, see what they wanted to do here.
Yeah, so I actually had talked to, when Aaron started on Monday, I talked to him a little bit about the property and that some people in the township want it restored to its original schoolhouse, appearance based on the plans. Some people were concerned about spending $500,000 to do that. So I think we should go out to you guys all know, it's the same people that attend the meetings. There's an awful lot of residents that don't attend the meetings, so that probably don't even know what's going on with the schoolhouse or the thoughts or the cost to do the schoolhouse. So I was hoping that Aaron could help us figure out a way to reach out to the residents to try to do some type of a vote and see how many residents really are. Some say squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I just want to make sure that we're representing the township the way that we should. And if we've got 5 people that don't want to restore it and, 5% don't and 95% do, or vice versa, let's make sure that we're doing what the township wants to do and not what, one of us personally wants to do.
Could we get a real number first on what it would cost to redo it? Because we keep hearing numbers from $500,000 to $1 million to no, it could be done for less. So could we get a real number before we do the resolution, so we know?
I do think we should have some.
So you gotta have, have a
Yes.
realistic number so people can make a true, decision,
Right.
good or bad.
And I think that's a reasonable request.
So the estimates that had come out there, like you said, it came in at 3.5 or 525,000. Yeah, so I definitely think it's
You're already 200,000 in, so
a little
you're
over.
really at 7.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
So
Just hit the podium. Whoever wants to talk, please hit the podium, name, address, leave your phone number.